this week's Torah portion, we learn that the commentators say that Yaakov did not die. How can this possibly be? So I'll tell you a story. A woman came to the Rebbe Rashab. He was the fifth Rebbe of Chabad. He passed away in 1920. And she said that she's been searching for her husband. Her husband ran away from her, doesn't know where he is. She's called an aguna. In Judaism, that's called an aguna. There's a law in Judaism, strange law, that if a man leaves his wife or he disappears, this is unfortunately very common in the Holocaust, when families got separated and people didn't know if women didn't know if their husbands were alive or not, where they were. The law is that if a man leaves his wife or disappears, his wife can never remarry until it's ascertained that her husband is dead, or they find her husband and he gives her a bill of divorce. And there are sometimes when husbands simply run away from their wives. They want to get revenge or whatever, and they run away from them, and the wife can never remarry. Never remarry. So such was the case. A woman came to the Rebbe Rashab, to the Rebbe called the Rebbe Rishalom Dovber, his name was, and said that her husband had left her, ran away. She didn't know where he was. She suspected that he ran away. He left Judaism, and he ran away, got married to a non-Jewish woman, and he didn't know it. So the Rebbe Rashab, so she went to the Rebbe Rashab, to get some advice. People told her to go. She wasn't from Chabad necessarily, but she heard he was a great man, a holy man. She was Jewish, and that he could help her. So the Rebbe Rashab, I don't know if in general he didn't receive women or just at that particular time he wasn't receiving, but he didn't. So she wrote they told her that she couldn't go in to see the Rebbe. The Rebbe was not seeing women, but she could write a letter, and that the secretary said he would give it in. So she wrote a letter, and the secretary gave it in. Meanwhile, the Chassidim helped her out. They found her a place to stay temporarily or whatever it was. And she pulled in this letter, gave the letter into the Rebbe. She got an answer almost immediately that she should go to Warsaw. All right, there it is. So she should go to Warsaw. So she was very happy. She got an answer to the Rebbe. Everyone was telling her how amazing it was, and she got an answer from the Rebbe. And the Hasidim gathered up money for her to go to Warsaw and to rent a place over there for a month, and to look for her husband. She would have enough more money for food, for this. Poor lady. So I guess she slept over the night. Whatever, she took over. They took her to the train, and she went to Warsaw. She got off on the station in Warsaw. She has this little sort of suitcase with all of her clothes and her belongings. She gets in the suit. And she gets out in the Warsaw is a huge city, huge city. And she gets up in the train station, and it's this huge building, huge room. People are running around and they're announcing when the trains are going to come. This train, and people are running, and people are going. And she's just standing there. She doesn't know where to go. She wasn't told where to go. She wasn't given any information by the Rebbe. And suddenly she's standing there, and she realizes her plight, the helplessness of her situation. She doesn't speak Polish, and she doesn't know anybody there, and she hasn't got any directions, and her husband left her, and she's totally alone, and no one is helping her, and she's just alone in the world. She stands there, she just puts her suitcase down, and she just starts crying. And a man comes up to her, a religious man, a Jewish man, says, "Excuse me, ma'am, why are you crying?" She tells him the whole story. My husband left me. I have 2 children at home, and my mother is taking care of them, but I can't continue this way. And I went to this Rebbe of Lubavitch, and he said to come over here and that I would find my husband. I don't know what to do. He didn't give me any instructions. I don't know. I'm a simple person. I don't. So he said, the man said, what does your husband look like? So listen, I don't know. He used to have a beard. He has a scar like over here. But I think he shaved off the beard. His name, and the man said, I think I know where he is. So yes, he said, yeah. Come with me. Come with me. I'll show you. So she takes him. She sees that street over there. See, there's a building over there. See, it's the red, painted red. Go in there. It's a bar. If I'm not mistaken, your husband is sitting over there. He's playing cards with people in the back of the bar. You'll find him. So I mean, she's got no reason why not to believe this person. So she said, "Thank you very much." She takes her the suitcase and she drags herself over to this place. And she goes into the bar. It's all dark and smoky, and people are all talking and they're laughing, and nobody notices her at all. She goes to the back of the bar, and she hears that people are playing cards, and she hears the cards being shuffled and everything. And she's looking and trying to get her eyes used to the dark. And all of a sudden, one of the people playing cards over there yells out, "Sora, Sora, how did you find me over here? How did you find me?" So she looks and she can't. The man stands up and he comes out. And she sees there's a clean shaven guy. He looks like he hasn't, washed or slept. Who knows for how long? He looks miserable. He says, "Sora, since I've left you, I've only had bad things happen to me. Oh, I should have never left. I feel so bad." I said, "But I didn't want to go back. I was so ashamed. I'm so please forgive me." And he's crying and he's weeping. She says, "Let's go outside." They go outside. He looks, sure enough, there's the scar on his. He said, "Listen, I'm sorry I left. I shouldn't have done it." So she said to him, "Okay, I'll tell you what. You go back to go to the rabbi, and let's see what the rabbi has to say. What the rabbi has to say. And meanwhile, I'll come home also. I'll take a different train." They went together. I don't know. "I'll take a different train and I'll come. By the time I get back there, the rabbi will have checked you out and see what." And sure enough, that's what she did. She took the next train. She went back home. He also came back. He went to the rabbi. The rabbi saw that he was sincere. He was normal. He repented, and he changed his ways. And he came back. After a while, she realized that this rabbi of Chabad was the one who helped her. He gave her the advice. He went over there. If it wasn't for him, she wouldn't have met that strange person in the terminal, the train terminal. And so she decided she's going to go back to the Rebbe. She went back to the Rebbe with a envelope with some money in it and a letter of thanks. She went, and the secretary of the Rebbe said, "Oh, it's you. How are you?" She said, "Oh, it was wonderful. My husband came back. I went to Warsaw." And the secretary said, "We were worried about you. We didn't know because you didn't have any directions." And yes, it was so amazing. Some man came up to me in the terminal and he told me where to go. So good. So she said, "I would like to give this to the Rebbe." Well, as again, the Rebbe isn't seeing women, but when the Rebbe comes out of his room, as you give me this envelope, I'll give it to him and I'll explain to him that it's from you. Just stand there and watch. He can say thank you. So the Rebbe came out of her room, and this man gave the letter to the Rebbe, and this woman looked at the Rebbe and she fainted, passed out. And the Rebbe continued walking. And a doctor came. It was a doctor, and he gave her some water. She just passed out. So afterwards, he asked, would you pass out for?" Because you saw the Rebbe's face. She said, "That was the Rebbe?" They said, "Yes." She said, "That's what I thought." She said, "That's what you said. That was the Rebbe." She said, "That was the same man that I saw in Warsaw in the train depot. He was the one that came up to me and gave me the directions, told me where to go." And afterwards, the secretaries of the Rebbe, they made a calculation that on that date, they checked on the date, that one of them went into the Rebbe's room to give him a glass of water or whatever it was, and they saw the Rebbe was just sitting in his chair, and his eyes, he was looking like up at the ceiling, and he was completely oblivious to everything that there was in the room, completely oblivious, as though he wasn't even there. It's like his body was just like a sort of a shell. So somehow or other, the Rebbe projected his body to the train depot in Warsaw. in order to help this woman. So we see that it's possible that a person could be in two places at the same time, and that a person's body can be not limited to the laws of nature. And that's how it's possible that Yaakov Avinu is still alive, because his body is not limited to the laws of nature. Have a good day with Mashiach now, and hope to see everybody, God willing, tomorrow. And I hope that this is being put on online, because I didn't have to put in a code before, but we'll see. Let's see what happens.